Hi, welcome to Queens Talking Reality. I'm Farron, this is
Elisa.
Please like, comment, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Today we'll be recapping, talking the tea, the gossip, the drama, everything about Housewives of Potomac. We're about to go live.
Watch us now. Hey, you heard it right. Queens Talking Reality, formerly known as Voices of Reality, but we changed the name. So we're about to jump right into it. And look at us. We got the same colors and we never even planned it. Do you see how we be coordinating? And we never even planned it, but
Yes.
great minds think alike, okay? Oh, wait, did I say our names? I'm Elisa and
Farrah.
Yes. Okay. And we're going to jump right into it and get it started. So this is Potomac, Housewives of Potomac. And this episode is episode 7. And it is called Beef is Served. Okay.
There was a lot of beef.
Yes. So this, wait, let me get my notes ready. Wait a second. Just one moment. Just a second. Okay, here we go. So it starts off with Maya. She's on the phone with
Peter. People call him Patricia.
Yes.
And talking about he got beef with Wendy.
Basically, that's where they left off at in the previous episode, that he got beef. And he didn't say what, and Mia didn't really extract it at that point, but she does in like later on. But afterwards, Ashley is talking to the people, she starts talking. I think she's talking about like the DMs and stuff like that, and the DM that she got. It wasn't important. It was
important. But with Peter, I like Peter. Peter, he is a Patricia, but I like his swag because even when he talks and he uses the New York, to me, slang, it's kind of like, I haven't heard that term beef in a while. Who says beef nowadays? Like when he said, I got beef, I was like, I remember beef back in the day. Like he used old slang, but it sounds still dated.
Yeah, I do. Like, the old heads that's like from New York, and like I still be using that because it's like I can't keep up. You got 2 boys, 2 young, that's trendy and stuff like that.
They're not saying beef. I can't see. I don't know what they're using now. What is their terminology, their slang, or they won't say drama. Whatever they say, I don't know.
I'm trying to think too, but
beef, I was like, Peter. I like he uses his old school New York slang, so I like that about Peter.
Yeah, he do got some swag, and he's like cool with it. Like it's like when Peter comes on the screen, he just seems to me he gives off like boss vibes, and I love a boss. Okay.
Yeah, he does have, I think, sex appeal. Like he zooms like, okay, I'm gonna be seen, but he's cool and laid back. So I like the way he speaks. He's not trying to be cool. That's just how he talks.
Absolutely.
He's like trying to be hip with like the newbies now. He's using old slang that we know what he's talking about. So
some people get to talking and they try to use slang words and they just don't give off that cool swag. And Peter, he gives it off. Yeah. So I did like that part. I like his vibe. But so Ashley goes on to the scene with Ashley. She lets them know that the house fell through. That the house that she was getting with he was still her husband. Yeah.
Michael, somebody brought them out or something like that.
I think she said there was a problem with the house. Or wasn't it a problem with the house? No,
I think she said that. Well, she said recently, like every time they buy a house, somebody buys it out or something. I don't know what she said. I can't remember now. Because it wasn't that important. But she didn't get the house. Point.
Yeah.
She didn't get the house. I don't know if somebody outbid her or whatever, but she didn't get the home.
Yeah. So, and she said she basically went on to say that Michael is fighting her about everything that's going on. He keeps like trying to pick a fight with her. What do you think?
And calling her every 5 minutes and saying the baby needs that, baby needs this when here. Wait, that's what men do. Because I think one of them mentioned that, I think it was Robyn, like he don't want to think about you with somebody else. And that's what it is, That's what it is.
I don't believe it though. I don't believe I don't believe that he's like trying to, like, he can't get her out of his mind. He's like trying to pursue her still, and he doesn't want them to part. Like, I just believe that, like you said, I just think that's how men are. I don't believe
Yeah.
that he's into her like that. I don't believe for one second that that's.
Piece. He still wants to be able to control her, have sex with her and other women. So that's what it is. I doubt it's, oh, I love her so much that I can't live without her. That's not what it is. He just want to mess up whatever she has good happening in her life.
Mm-hmm. And he's not, he's being himself, regular. Like you said, men do that stuff. Nothing. He's not pursuing you, girl. He doesn't want you anymore. And then Maya's best friend comes into the scene. What you think about the best friend? She's asking her for deodorant. She starts asking her for things. It's annoying Mia. So what you think about this best friend?
I would have been annoyed too. I couldn't really feel her out, but I think later on in the episode, you see how she's kind of like talking about Mia behind her back. Later on, she's telling the girls like, oh, Mia's, stress control, and she talks to her thing, and Mia be putting her in her place. Mia be talking crazy to her, like, oh, quiet, and saying all this stuff and put her in her place. And she be like, Mia. So I think that her being around there will be good, because I think eventually she's going to throw Mia under the bus or side with Giselle and Robyn. I think they would have probably eventually have conflict if she stays long on the show. So I think she's good for a couple more episodes.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think she is going to bring the drama. I'm kind of like, I know we all getting a feel of her now, because I think that's the purpose, to see if she can like land the role of a housewife. So I do think she's already bringing the messiness, and that's what we love, and that's what Bravo loves. So I do think she's going to substantiate herself. And it would kind of annoy me if my friend kept asking for little things that you should have on a trip. Like, how don't you have deodorant? I get it, you forget. Maybe one, two things, but when it gets to the 6th, 7th thing, like, I am annoyed. But for Mia to go outside of her close bestie and tell the other girls about how I didn't like that part. Like how Mia goes out and she starts telling the other ladies like, oh my God, my BFF or whatever the girl's name is, she keeps asking for stuff. She doesn't have deodorant. She doesn't have toothpaste. Like, why do you got to tell people? Tell me. Like, and it doesn't need to leave this.
Well, I don't think she did anything wrong, because she did tell her. She's like, bitch, you don't have none of that stuff. You don't have.
But she's talking about me. She's doing the same thing the friend was doing. Why are you talking about me?
That's why I said it's going to be good, because they're both going to talk behind each other's backs. Because you see Mia talking behind her back, and the other girl talked behind her back when they were at their dinner. But you could see the people at the table like, what? She's talking about Mia? Like, Ashley was looking at her like, okay. They none of them said anything. They were kind of like surprised that she was saying negative things behind Mia's back.
Mm-hmm.
But Mia's situation, I don't think it was that bad, because she was saying it to her. Like, you forget everything. Like, this is annoying. You don't have all your stuff. So her going to say it to Giselle and Ashley, I don't think it was as bad. Like, even if they go back and be like, oh, Mia was talking about you not having these things, I don't think she'll be that upset compared to if they told
I would not, like, because it depends on how it's said. You making me seem like some bum bitch. Like, I'm bitch.
Well,
I'm bumming.
Like she's a bum bitch, because you have all these things. Like, you're asking for toothpaste. You asking,
but you my friend. Like, you my friend. Like, it shouldn't be like that.
These are main things as a traveler you should have.
No, you can forget. I forgot stuff like that. I forgot my tube of toothpaste. Sometimes you forget. We all human.
It's fine, because you think those are accommodations. These are things you're gonna get at a hotel. You're gonna forget deodorant, toothpaste, toothbrush, and whatever else she was asking her. And you expect her to have an extra toothbrush? You expect to share deodorant? That's nasty. Like, you sounded real broke. No, there's certain things you should not be asking somebody for. Like, you have extra like, if I'm in a trip, I may ask, do you have an extra toothbrush? But how many people carry an extra toothbrush? I may ask. But I would be like, oh, I need to go to the convenience store to buy deodorant. I would be like, oh, you have deodorant? Because I'm not sharing deodorant. That's nasty.
Yeah, but she did ask her for the spray on one. Like, she did. She was specific.
Whatever, have your own stuff. I'd be annoyed too if you keep asking. And like Mia said, right after the next one, do you have this? Oh, by the way, do you have this? Like, it looks to me, if I had a friend that does that's like, okay, you feel like I should be loaning you my stuff. You are a smooch. That's what it sounds like to me. That's how I feel. And she says she does it all the time. So it's not like something she did the first time. It's constantly being done. when they go away, obviously.
Yeah, don't talk about me to your friends, especially not on camera if I'm your bestie. That's dead ass wrong.
Yeah, but I don't think she said anything that bad. I didn't think of it of like, oh my gosh, she's talking about
That gives off bum bitch vibes.
Well, it is. But when she referred to it during the taping and it was on TV already, even she said it behind her back, you come like a bum bitch. Unless she didn't think that was going to be aired.
I guess. And then the next scene is with Charrisse. She's not trying to stay in that villa or whatever that is, Airbnb, whatever they stay in. She's trying to get her own hotel.
And the issue is the bathroom.
Yeah.
She comes off, I like Charrisse, but she comes off very snobbish. And that's fine. If you don't feel comfortable sharing a bathroom or you don't like your accommodations, go to the hotel. I didn't think anything was wrong with it. It wasn't like, because I think the issue is she didn't want to share bathrooms. Some people don't want to. Some people want to be able to take a load and smell up the whole bathroom, feel comfortable. She could be on her period. We don't know what's going on. So I understand when some people feel uncomfortable. I think with me, when I go away, one thing I definitely want is a bathroom, a nice bathroom. And
exactly.
I've never been anywhere where I had to share bathrooms other than with my kids or the person I'm with, which is my boyfriend. So here I am sharing a bathroom with somebody else. I think it was one of those bathrooms she had to share with someone else. You know, you're gonna be going out. You take time to do your hair, your makeup. You probably want to take a shower. You want to take a shit. You want to do whatever. So I didn't think it was a big issue.
And I'm the same way. I don't
think she did it too disrespectful. Like, oh my God, I can't stay here. Oh no. She kind of said she, in a respectful manner to me, or she's not staying, and kind of like just look for a place on her own. She didn't really voice it, I don't think, to where if I was the host, I would be offended by it.
Yeah, I would be the same way. It would depend on the ratio, the bathrooms to women that are there. And the ratio to me, it just seemed off. I don't know how many, I forgot how many of them went, but it was 5 bathrooms. And I don't know if it was 5 women.
Wasn't it 9 of them? 9 of them?
Oh, it is. Oh yeah, I probably would have wanted to leave too. I'm not going to keep, like, it's too many women. And I don't like that either. Like, to be timely and efficient, I would want to because I like to take my time. I don't want people rushing me. I don't want people coming in the bathroom. I might leave stuff. Like, I don't want people just like on top of me. Like, especially when it comes to the bathroom when I'm getting ready. I like to utilize the bathroom the majority of me getting ready. And I don't want to keep going back and forth to the bathroom that doesn't have good lighting. No, I need the bathroom lighting, and I don't want to be rushed. So I would definitely be that person.
So when you think about you're at a place and you're being filmed, right? You want to make sure your makeup is on point, your weave is on point, your outfit looking good, because you know they're going to film you. And if you look a hot mess, they're going to talk about it on social media. Not only that, as women, when we're using the bathrooms, everything I need is there. Like, when I go to the bathroom, my boyfriend be like, oh my God, like, the whole bathroom is mine. My makeup, my lotion, my perfume. I take up the whole bathroom of all my stuff. So now I can't have all my stuff there. I'm lugging my stuff from my bedroom to the bathroom. Some of my makeup is expensive. I don't trust them bitches. I don't know if they're going to take any of my stuff. And they want their space. And it's a fight. Oh, you got too much. I don't want to deal with it. And
I don't either.
I don't really want to be around you. You might stink up the bathroom. I don't want to deal with it. I understand. And I think when these housewife trips, they all know the type of people that's going on these trips. Why can't you accommodate everyone? Every trip is an issue with rooms, with bathrooms, with location. It's like accommodate everybody.
Exactly.
Just accommodate people. I feel like that's how it is. If you can't afford to get a nice room for everybody, then just have everybody stay at a hotel, like a house. Just make everybody get their own rooms at a hotel instead of doing this whole everybody stay at a house thing. Because sometimes, a lot of the times, it don't work.
I agree. And I would be Charrisse. It's too many women in here. Too few bathrooms.
I didn't think anything was wrong with how she reacted.
And then it goes on to Karen discussing like her and Charisse's situation, and she's not trying to mend fences with Charrisse.
With Wendy?
No, Karen.
No, but that's when she was discussing with Wendy.
Oh, yes. I thought she would, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, no one really knows why Karen's upset, but then they go back and they showed you when she's called, said she was dating some green-eyed man. I mean, this is the thing again. I know it's reality TV, and they always want to have a storyline. They want to stir up drama. They bring Charrisse back to stir up the drama between her and Karen because now Giselle and Karen are getting along. Now that Giselle and Karen get along, there's nothing really confrontational happening. Now we have the Mia and Maya, whatever. Is it Maya or Mia?
It's Mia. It's Mia. I just realized that I was doing Maya and Mia. I didn't know, but it's definitely Mia.
Okay, so with the Mia situation, Wendy, now there's some conflict, more conflict. So they brought Charrisse in to stir up conflict between Charrisse and Karen. I'm the same way. If we're not friends, we don't need to be friends. We don't even have to be cordial. We don't even have to say hi. I hate when I watch these reality shows and they try to force these two people that clearly don't want to be friends to be friends. Oh, let's have a sit down. Let's go to dinner. Let's go to brunch and hope that there's conflict that brews up. It becomes very annoying.
No, I would want to do that too. If I was Charrisse, I would want to find out too what's your problem. And especially,
I wouldn't care.
No. First of all, Charrisse is at the point where she's like getting re-interviewed and reintroduced.
Yeah, that's why.
Exactly. I'm a kind of poke the bear too. Well, I'm gonna be like, what's the problem?
Yes, for Charrisse, I understand because she's trying to solidify position for next season. But for Karen, she doesn't need to. Karen is a grande dame. She doesn't need to solidify her position right now. I could see Karen next season.
Karen needs to know. I mean, no, Karen is not bringing it too much for these past couple of episodes.
No, but she's like the mediator, the older mediator, just like Married to Medicine. Jackie doesn't bring anything to the table. She's the older mediator. You always need one in every show. Karen is that person that has some sense. She's kind of in between. Everyone's cool with her, just like with the Wendy and Mia situation. We'll talk about it. So they need Karen. Or if I heard there's no one to kind of bring the group as one and talk to one person and then try to reason with the next person. They don't have anybody in that group to do that now. So they need Karen.
Yeah, but she can play mediator or whatever and stay out of it. I just feel like now, like these past couple of episodes, all you're doing is seeing her scurrying away and, oh, okay, let's go now. It's time for me to leave. Like, and she's just leaving when it gets too hot in the kitchen. I don't like that part of Karen.
Yeah, I don't like eventually she's going to blow up. They showed the previews and she stands up and bangs on the table or something. They're going to show conflict eventually with Karen.
Okay, well, she needs to stop scurrying away and bring it. Like, so when Charrisse is kind of poking the bear, she did kind of do her, because I probably would kind of brush her off too, like a little gnat or something. So I guess I do agree with you there. Like, she doesn't really need to give her the time of the day, and she's not worthy of it. I probably would go back and forth with Giselle, because Giselle's like a big cheese on the show. But Charrisse, she's a friend of a friend or whatever. So no, I'm not going back and forth with a friend of the show, because you're not going to get her on my back.
If you go back and forth with her, you're solidifying her position.
Yeah.
That is not stupid. If you ignore her, most likely you'll be like, well, nothing, we don't need her next season. But if you start going back and forth arguing with her, they're going to need her next season to continue the argument. So that when you don't want someone to come back on a show, you pay them no attention. You don't pay them any attention. They're like, okay, this woman's not affecting Karen at all. We need to get somebody else. We need to figure something else out. Charrisse, sorry, you didn't work out. But if Karen goes at her head, they're gonna bring her back. So Karen is doing the right thing. Ignore. And don't give her scenes. Because Karen isn't seen. So if every time Charrisse comes, Karen leaves, that scene Charrisse is expecting to have that moment is no longer there.
Yeah.
So I would do the same thing. I'm not giving her that opportunity. I could have my own scene with the other girls. I could have my own scene with my husband. I don't want to make this her scene. So I understand why Karen is probably doing that too. Or she's hiding something about that blue-eyed man.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Because why, out of all things that was said about her, that's the one thing like that you're, that's really got on your nerve, is that she said about the blue-eyed guy. Like, there got to be some truth there, because the way that she's acting toward her. But like you said, maybe if I don't want her on the show and I don't feel like she's bringing anything, I wouldn't. So I guess Karen is being smart about it now that I'm kind of analyzing this, that she probably is being smart about it. Like, it probably is the blue-eyed thing that got on her nerves. And it probably is like she don't like Charrisse and she don't fully feel that she's deserving of a spot on the show. So I do think it's like 2-3-fold with her. And the next scene is with Giselle, Maya, and Ashley outside waiting for the rest of the ladies. And they basically, Mia tells them that they're going to bar 1. And then it's funny how Giselle asks, does Wendy know?
Yeah, I didn't understand why. What did that have to do with anything?
I
I
know.
it was with the Peter stuff, but it's like Giselle knew something. Like, why should that be a factor if they were going to bar the 1 and ask, or does Wendy know?
I thought so too. So I thought that had something to do with like the producers, and they might have kind of like nudged her and was like, listen, this scene, this is about to pop off. Like, you know, because one thing that Peter said, he was on another podcast, Michelle in Atlanta's podcast, and he said in there that there's no mistakes about it, that the producers do let the ladies know this is what's about to pop off and go down. So I think that was harsh. That was like that relates to what he's saying, that Giselle knew something, because why would she ask that? Like, why would it be a problem if Wendy knows or doesn't know? Like, why is that an issue? And why are you asking that?
I mean, this is the thing with the producer knowing, not knowing. Even though they were going about what, I don't know if they knew it was going to be that. Like, it could have been them going to bar 1 and then that was it. Like, I don't understand. Like, I saw when Peter said that, oh, you know, like, basically, to me, it sounded like it's scripted. Like, this is not just reality TV. I do things to stir up the drama. But with that being said, how did they know it was going to escalate to that unless they put a big bug in Mia's ear and said, throw water in Wendy's face?
No, I think it was a matter of, like, Giselle and them must have known that they're supposed to go into business together, Wendy and Peter. Like, it was a matter of them knowing, like, does Wendy know we're going to bar 1? Because they got a restaurant. They're going to the restaurant business together. To me, it could have been that.
Yeah, but I don't think that had anything to do with anything. Like, who cares? I didn't understand why Giselle asked. It really shouldn't matter.
I believe that they knew that there was some beef that was brewing, because remember, Peter said, and then maybe I think Maya did tell, like, Giselle that Peter said
he has beef with
Yeah, so I think that's where it stemmed from, that she did.
Yeah.
Now I remember, and I think she did say that to Giselle. So now it's like, wait, they got beef. Does Wendy know we're about to go there and that they have beef?
I think Giselle was also saying, does Wendy know? Like, does Wendy know about that Peter has beef with her? Like, that could have been it too. Like, oh, does he know? Does Wendy know?
Yeah.
Like, one, does Wendy know Peter has beef with her? Now we're going to the restaurant. So I think that's what it was, a combination of, does Wendy know about the beef? And does Wendy know we're going to the restaurant?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so now that makes a little bit more sense. Yeah.
Yeah, so they started talking about in the car, they're on their way there, and they start talking about not going to the bathroom and not passing gas in front of your husband or your significant other, and not, holding it all in. Maybe did somebody go get hospitalized and die for holding in gas?
I saw that Instagram too, that someone died. Well, I was married twice. So if my first one, I used to let it replay. With my ex-husband, we used to play fart games. I know that's disgusting.
Oh, ew.
Fart under the sheets. Back then I was a young girl, less mature.
Me too. I used to do it when I was young. I'm not doing that now.
Not now. So that was an issue, but I wouldn't, like Robyn was talking about her and Juan, and I'm not letting him see me take a dump. That does not happen. I'm not in the bathroom when he's taking a dump. He's not in the bathroom when I'm taking a dump or a leak. However,
I wouldn't mind that. Like, you could come in, if I'm on the toilet bowl, come in, get what you got to get, your toothbrush. I don't mind that. I'm not going to I don't want you smelling like I'm in the room and I'm just passing gas, stinking up the place, or I'm in the bed. But if I'm in the bathroom on the toilet bowl and you need to come in and get something, or I need to open it up and tell you something, I don't mind that. It's something quick.
I don't want that either. Now with my boyfriend is different, because we had set ground rules. He doesn't want me to fart in front of him, and I don't want him to fart in front of me. He basically told me this. He said, that's not attractive. I don't want you to. I don't know if I did it one time. He's like, no, you're not doing that in this relationship. So in my current relationship, I do not fart in front of my boyfriend. He's never seen me poop. If I had to poop, I go upstairs. I don't even poop where we are, like where we live. I don't do it. I go all the way to a different bathroom. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we let it slide. He's sleeping there.
Yeah.
That. I mean, I've been caught before when I let it rip and he turned around and I thought he was sleeping. He was like, "Oh my God, that stinks." I was like, "Well, he should have been sleeping." But now I don't do it. But in the past, I have. I guess it depends on who you're with.
I agree too. I just want to do it. I'm older now. Like when I was younger, I used to do that. I'm not doing it. Like I said, if you need to get something out the bathroom, you can come and get it. But I'm not passing gas. I'm not letting it rip. I'm not doing all of that. So the next part, Robyn interjected a beat. It was like, "Oh, it's okay." Like I walk around naked in front of my children. She got 2 boys, and they all looked at her like, "That's a little weird," because they're like 14 and like 12 or something, or 13. They like teenagers.
So I have 2 boys now who's 16 and 13. My kids see me butt ass naked. They've seen it. They've seen it all.
You walking around naked in front of them?
Now, hello. They seen it all from when they were little to I don't know when. So that my boyfriend told me, he was like, "What you're doing is wrong. They're becoming boys.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be the first naked woman they see. You're gonna tarnish that experience for them for the first time to see."
Okay, I love boyfriend. Yes.
We're gonna tarnish that. I'm like, yeah, especially looking this good. It might not be easy finding somebody looking this good. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what he told me. Oh, you may tarnish their image. But in a way, and so I stopped. I can't remember. I mean, they may run in the bathroom and see me naked. I can't. Hello. If that happens, that happens. But my kids are not pervs either. Like they're not.
No, come on. No, that don't matter.
They're not fast. Because they've seen me naked. And my boyfriend said in a way that's not that good either. They're not mesmerized. Like, "Oh, I have to see a naked woman. I have to see a naked woman." They've seen my mother naked. They see me naked. They see me naked.
Coping. No, but they got hormones. They going through puberty. Like they still gonna get aroused. It don't matter. They're not gonna differentiate their mother's titties between.
Now they don't. I'm saying when I was younger. When they
because you be saying like now. No, because you saying like they're not pervs, and it wouldn't matter if they saw you naked or not. It doesn't have to be perverted.
I'm not saying they're not perverted, meaning they're not fascinated. Like, "Oh, I want to look at a naked woman online." They're not, because they've seen it already. They're not like, like when you hide kids certain things, like, "Oh, I've never seen a naked woman. I'm more curious to go online and look at nude women." Like my son is 16. We talk. I would know if you, of course, look at girls jiggling their butts and things like that online. But he's not fascinated. "Oh my God, I want to see a naked woman," because he already seen naked women. He's seen me. He's seen my mother. Hell, he's seen my grandmother. He's seen all 3 generations of nakedness. Now that he's 16, I cover myself up more, and he knocks the door. My little one's 13. He'll just barge. I'm like, "Joshua," so things like that, and they cover themselves. But they've seen me naked, and I doubt they forget how I look. I doubt they forgot how I look naked. But they see me naked. It happens. You live in the house. You might be rushing, getting dressed. They barge in the room. They see it.
No, I get that part, but I'm saying just prancing around like, "Oh, okay, I'm just watching TV. I'm naked."
No, I didn't do nothing like that. It would be more so going in and out of the bathroom. Like their bedroom door could be open. I'm getting ready. I'm getting dressed, going out. They walk in the bathroom. Again, they were younger. Like I can't remember the last time they saw me naked. But again, if they do see me naked, it's more so they barged in the bathroom. I'm like, "Hey, I'm coming out of the shower." My little one opens the door, and I'm like, "Can you knock?" Things like that. But they've seen me. They've seen me.
Just making sure they're not 18, 20, and you walking around.
After a while. No, but you know what? When I realized that they realized it was wrong, like, "Mom, can you put a cover up?" Once they can start telling you that, you're like, "Oh, okay." You know they're being affected in a way they don't want to see naked.
Okay.
My kids will let you know, like, this is inappropriate. My kids at one point said, "Mom, can you cover yourself?" And they were like 10. Like, I'm like, "What's the big deal?" "Ill, Mom." Or they'd be like, "Ill, Mom." They're like, "Okay, now I'm making them feel uncomfortable."
Okay.
No, not now. Now that's kind of weird.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking when Robyn said that. I was like, that's really weird. Okay.
Yeah.
So when they get to, and because they took 2 separate vans. So Wendy says in the other van that she doesn't want to talk business, and she doesn't mind seeing Peter, but she definitely doesn't want to discuss business. I thought that was weird. Like, who said you want to discuss? I just thought it was weird that she specified, like, "Okay, I'm seeing Peter, but I just don't want to discuss business, like, at all."
I didn't think that was weird because that's her relationship with Peter, business. That's her relationship. She doesn't have a relationship like Mia made it seem. Mia, she made it seem like, oh my God, Mia and Peter. And they showed pictures, which I didn't even know they had that type of friendship. And even Giselle Peter's pretty well known, I guess. So
Yeah.
I understand if that's the only relationship they have. And remember, she had the last text she sent to Peter. So I would think it's the same thing. Like, I'm on a girls trip. I don't want to discuss business. Peter would be the one to come over and discuss business. So I didn't think it was.
I don't know. I think it's weird though. Like, I don't know if I had a last conversation with somebody that I'm in that we have a prospective, like, potential business together. We didn't speak about it. We left it off as kind of still up in the air. And I'm going to their business. I know I'm going to see them. Like, we don't got to sit down and go into the back room and start bringing out contracts and stuff. But I would think it would come up. And I would kind of like, what happened to the phone call or the site, the site visit, or I think something should come up. Like, it shouldn't be like, I don't want to discuss business at all. Like, no, let's pick up, like, and say something and acknowledge, like, oh, I'm taking care of this, I'm taking care of that, and I'm going to get right back to you. Okay, let me get a margarita. Like, it doesn't have to be some sitting down and formal.
I agree. That's if you're interested in the business. I think Wendy's trying to avoid Peter because she doesn't have the funds. Her husband already, and she's probably embarrassed to say, Peter, I can't do it. Because it seemed like it was her idea. It was her idea. Peter didn't come there and be like, oh, let's open this Nigerian restaurant. It was her idea. So you make the man meet you. You make it seem like you're really interested. You throwing all these ideas. He's really saying he's fronting the money. He's excited about it. He's really probably going out of his way to start thinking about ways we're going to go into business. And here you come. You're not interested anymore. You're embarrassed to say you don't have the money. And you're just kind of like shushing him away. So I think the reason she was like, she doesn't want to discuss business because she feels like that would have to be an opportunity to tell Peter, look, I can't go through with this business because I don't have the money. Because she can't tell him I'm not interested. Why not? Like, what would be the reason unless you don't have the money?
And that's where, that's what gave me, I mean, we already knew that from the previous episode when she was talking about it with her husband, but it kind of like lets us know, okay, she's really not interested. That's how it let me know, like, she's really not interested, because anyone who's going into business and you have a potential to make money is going to be happy, and we're going to discuss it, even on a girl's trip. To not say, I don't want to talk about business, that means that you're really not that interested in it. You should be excited about making money.
And she probably doesn't want to talk to Peter about it on screen. And she probably don't want to talk to Peter in front of all the ladies. Because again, you never know who's going to try to, let me hear what Wendy and Peter talk about. And, oh, well, Peter, by the way, out of my husband, I thought about it. We don't have the funds to really do it right now. You don't want to say that in front of those women.
I know. And she should have, even if she should have just called Peter back. But I mean, we're going to get to that scene, how it really wasn't Wendy's fault about the way the communication went between her and Peter. She didn't leave him hanging. Like, I feel like he made it seem. So, and the next,
if she wasn't as interested in the business, she could have, if Peter said something like, oh, we'll talk about it at a different time. But I think it's also avoiding Peter because she can't afford to go into business with him.
Absolutely, because you would be excited. I'm always excited about making money, and I think everybody is about. Even people that got like Trump and these billionaires out here, Puffy, like, they are excited about new money prospects. Okay,
correct. So,
and for her not to be red flag. So then the next scene is with they talk about Ashley clarifying. Like, who said, somebody said something about somebody squeezing and touching butts, that Chris touched somebody's butt. Who said it?
It was Giselle.
That's what I like. See, that's why I respect Giselle, because I remember when you brought that up our last episode.
And you said everybody. She did shiesty. She did say it when she went back on the band.
I don't think it was shiesty, but it did make me think about, like, you kind of zeroed in for like on that scene, like basically saying, like, Giselle is shiesty, and that no one said anything about touching butts and stuff like that. So, but what I respect about Giselle is she didn't like deny it. She didn't say, who said that? Like, she admitted to it, like, oh, really? Yeah, I thought we said butt. I thought you said butt. I thought, I didn't know you did. Like, I thought she was going to deny it. But I like that Giselle takes accountability for the things that she said that was wrong.
At that moment, Candace wasn't there. I don't know if Candace was there, she would have said that. And again, I don't think she took full accountability. She threw it on Ashley, like, oh, that's what you said. And I repeated it. So when they showed back, when I don't remember when they had showed it the first time, if Ashley said, well, he touched her like this, they went back to the scene and Ashley said, oh, you know, Chris did this. So this, no one knew what the hell that meant. That we didn't know. Like, did he touch her? But did he rub her hip? Did he rub her waistline? And she was just saying, I was just saying he was leaning in. Ashley didn't say that. He said, oh yeah, Chris went like this. Giselle went into that sprinter and said, oh, Chris was touching butts. So
listen,
no one's saying about the word butt.
But she didn't deny. Okay, but what I'm saying is that she did say it, but I think she took accountability for it because then she said, "Wait, she really thought like, listen, we're not in her head. We don't know what she could have heard or how she perceived it in her mind and how it was, you know, taken in. You can't say how she heard it in her head." So, but the thing is, she didn't deny it. When Ashley corrected her, she wasn't like adamant about it and saying, no, you did say, but you did, like, you know, like with the Robyn thing, when Robyn was like, no, I did not touch you. You're trying to make it seem like I was aggressive. And they had to flash back to the scene. And Robyn was so adamant about, I did not touch Wendy and I wasn't aggressive. And she was aggressive. And they had to go back to the scene. Now with Giselle took accountability because she kind of like wasn't adamant about it. She was like, wait, you didn't say that? Oh, for real? Oh, okay. Sorry, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's how rumors start. That's a big deal, you know. And I mean, Candace wasn't there. I don't know how much accountability Giselle would take with Candace not being there. But yeah, she didn't deny saying it.
Mm-hmm. And then this next scene was with Charrisse kind of like, well, I think it was more so Karen addressing Charrisse about like, didn't you say that we were supposed to go out and what happened?
She did. I mean, I can't get over Karen's face.
What's wrong with her face?
I don't know. Like, it seems like she did more work on her face. Like, sometimes I can't get over the look from season 1 to now. Because, you know, they go back sometimes. But yeah, that's another story. It's definitely an upgrade. But yeah, she's basically saying, Charrisse, you don't want to invite me to lunch, so I'm waiting for you to invite me to lunch. And Charrisse is still like, oh, well, I don't know what I did to you. Like, yeah, why are you mad at Charrisse? She really didn't say anything. Then they showed Wendy going back and talking to Charrisse and saying what Karen said. And implying that maybe Charrisse is wrong in this incident. So I think that's what it was. They didn't really... It looked like it was going to start something, but then it kind of ended where it didn't escalate. It was kind of like, I think it
kind of like transferred over and it kind of like went on to Wendy because that's when Wendy turned up and got kind of like lit. And I think it was because when Charrisse, I think she felt offended and she felt like, I think it was when Wendy told her that Charrisse is, well, what Charrisse thought she heard Wendy say was that Karen said she was coming from a bad place. So I think Charisse's purpose in addressing Karen was to say like, what you think, what you mean I was coming from a bad place? And then when Karen was like, I never said that. I never said you was coming from a bad place. And then that's when Charrisse said, you did say that. And Wendy told me you said that. But then when they flashed it back, Wendy never said that. Charrisse, it kind of was like miscommunicated.
When they flashed back, Wendy said that to Karen. Well, what if someone's coming from a bad place? Wendy said that to Karen in reference to, because Wendy was saying to Karen, well, what if someone's coming from a bad place? So it wasn't Karen who said it. Wendy said it to Karen. And then that's when Wendy and Karen were going at, Wendy and Charrisse was going at it because Wendy.
Yeah, okay, it was. But what I'm saying is that I think it was I think the way Karen interpreted it, it wasn't the way Wendy was trying to say it. I think she was speaking hypothetically. I don't think she was speaking saying that Charrisse is coming from a bad place. I think that she said it like, you know, giving out the possibility, like, did you ever think about if a person is coming from a bad place, how would you handle it? Or but I think the way Karen interpreted it, I thought it was Charrisse, but the way Karen interpreted it.
The way Charrisse interpreted from what Wendy told her is that because Wendy, it seems like Charrisse thought Karen said she was coming from a bad place.
Yeah.
But the miscommunication it's Wendy who said to Karen, what if someone's coming from a bad place? So it was just a whole big miscommunication. It was like telephone.
That's what I'm trying to say. I can't remember who said what, but I know when they flashed back, it showed that it was absolutely a miscommunication when Wendy threw out that hypothetical. Correct. So it was like, so then that's when Wendy kind of turned up and was like, are you scared of her? You scared to address her? Wendy needs to be, I guess Mia did it. I would have did it physically. Like I would have never physically, and I would never get violent with anybody. But the way Wendy turns up sometimes, I would have to settle her down, but I wouldn't do it violently. I would put her right in her place. Like for her, the way she turned up and was like, are you scared of her? Like, why can't you address her? Why are you bringing me into this? And it was like, we did have this conversation. And even if it was miscommunicated, relax. Say what you got to say and don't talk to me like that. I didn't like it. I don't like the way Wendy addresses people.
Wendy was getting out of hand, but I think Wendy's on the fence.
Mm-hmm.
If you really look at it, she's not getting with nobody on the cast. She's not. There's nobody in that cast that Wendy's right now getting on with. Karen and Ashley's a flip-flopper. She's not getting on with Mia. She's not getting on Giselle and Robyn. And now Charrisse is, of course, buddy with Robyn, who eventually will turn on Wendy in a second.
So says, I don't know if you see Smiles join us in the chat. Thank you, Smiles, because this was like an impromptu live that we're doing. Smiles says that Charrisse deserved it. I don't believe Charrisse deserved it. I believe that it was misinterpreted the way
it was misinterpreted, I think. But Wendy went over the top a little bit. But I get Wendy. I think she's trying to put people in their place. Like, don't come at me no crazy because I will shut you down. I think she's trying to put everyone in their place real quick so they don't forget and try to come at her. I think that's what it is. Kind of like, look, I need to shut everybody down fast, and she don't waste time doing it. And
I don't think it was. I just don't think it was deserved because, like I said, I think what happened was Karen was basically trying to say, I'm in a good place. I don't give a F about anybody else or whatever. And then that's when Wendy threw out, but what if the person is in a bad place? Like I said, she was throwing out hypothetical. I just think it was interpreted wrong. But the way Wendy turned up, and then that's when it escalated.
That's when
that's when it started to get real hot in that room.
So that's what, hello ladies. Hey, Smiles. So I agree. But Wendy did turn up a little and Charrisse just shut her mouth real fast.
Yeah, and then Karen was like kind of dismissed her like a gnat, like just get out of here. Like so
Charrisse is looking kind of thirsty. You're off the show, you've been fired from the show, you're divorced, you don't have much going on with your life. It doesn't seem like you're trying to have business with what's his name? Peter, still trying to have a champagne room. Like, you're looking real pathetic. Like, I wouldn't go on a show like that and look that desperate. You're looking real desperate to be back on that show.
I thought so too. I was like, is she really trying to like proposition Peter for business? But whatever, we're gonna get to that part. But the next part is when Peter arrives and he kind of like, he was very smooth breeze, like, which I like. He came in, he didn't even address like Wendy in a negative way. He said hi to everybody, gave everybody a hug, went around the room, and then just exited, left. So I love that part. That's what I love about Peter's swag.
Yeah, I do. The only thing I didn't notice, and I don't know if because of film, the restaurant was pretty empty. Because me, I was looking in the back like, I'm trying to see the ambiance of the whole restaurant. It was pretty empty, and I'm thinking maybe because of filming, they picked a time when other customers were there. But I wanted to see a little bit more lively, kind of like, okay, this is a happening spot. It looked pretty dead.
I do think it had to do with film. I think it did have to do with filming because when I was watching Michelle's podcast, she was actually there, and there were people there. Like when you look at it when she put up certain scenes from that particular night, she was actually there in like another room or another section or whatever. So you could tell it was kind of like lit in there, like it was like popping. Okay. So I just think it was that scene and maybe the way that the show depicted it. Now with technology, you can kind of erase people, take them out and whatever, and up the volume up so you don't hear chatter in the background. So I just think it had to do a lot with like the scene.
Gotcha.
So he explains that he arrives and then Mia goes to the back, like where he is after he exited. And then she basically tries to extract tea from Peter and like, why y'all got beef? What happened? Because, she just like, she's not used to being in real business. Like, she does candles.
Mind you, Mia used to do candles her damn self.
Exactly.
So Peter then says she never called her back. She never contacted him back about the contract. Like he sent a contract and she never really responded. So here go Mia being messy, taking that news and running to the table with it.
Mm-hmm. And then while she's in the back with Peter, they pan back to the table, and that's where the friend is like kind of like throwing some dirt on Mia and their friendship.
I agree. I mean, I the way she talks to her, and she's like, Mia, and she's like, whatever. Like, oh, I'm talking now. Then they're on the van, she shushed her. Mia was talking, and she basically shushed the friend. Like, quiet, I'm talking. I'm like, oh. She kind of
and on TV. First of all, I wouldn't tolerate that on not being on TV, but to be shushing me and treating me like some kind of like annoying like little puppy dog or something. I treat my dog better, so I shouldn't even say puppy dog. So to be treating her like an annoying gnat, like that's the part I mean, and I guess that's what we're going to see the friend kind of get turned up. And that's great that maybe she is trying to give her friend, I'm trying to give Mia an excuse. Like maybe she's trying to give her friend a platform. But like the friend said, and I guess that's what's going to be the downfall of their relationship. Their friendship is like, I don't think if we met when we were younger, like we would be friends at this older age. But to me, it's like, even if you're friends with somebody when you're younger, even if we met when we were younger, would I allow us as adults to be disrespected? I wouldn't. I think that's even more of a reason to shut it down with my friend and let her know what time it is. Like, you're not going to talk to me any kind of way. So it's like now you come into adulthood. So why is that an excuse to be friends still?
I agree. And if she's doing that on camera, I can imagine what she's doing off camera.
Yeah.
Disrespecting her. So she said, oh, I said to Wendy, if we, they grew up as, from young and now they're friends. They've been friends for how many years? And she's like, oh, if they met each other at this age, they wouldn't be friends. So she kind of they grew up together. So she tolerated
I just still think that's stupid because you're still being a doormat. Because it's like, why is that a reason to still be friends? Like, even if you met when you were younger and we friends now at an older age, you shouldn't be friends. I don't care how old I get. That friendship would have been cut off before, when I started to wisen up as an adult, knowing that we shouldn't have been friends as an adult. Like, why are you friends as an adult is what I'm saying. Like, if someone's talking to you, like you said, like an annoying like gnat, like you talking to me, no, shushing me on camera and you making me seem like some kind of like annoying like tick.
Girl, I be coming for your head. I can't be on these shows, I tell you. I couldn't be on these.
I would love to be on the show because that's when I'm already turned up like on a regular day. So if I was on a show, I would be so like protective of my energy and the way I'm treated and shown. I would never allow a lot of that stuff to happen. Never.
And like Smile, jail. They would have a lot of lawsuits against me. I wouldn't put myself in that type of environment. I wouldn't be able to do it. So Smile said friends can outgrow each other. That is true. So she's an idiot.
That's what I'm saying.
She's an ass kisser.
Yeah, and you can outgrow each other. And I think sometimes it can, like, we say outgrow each other, but sometimes you do have to set boundaries because there's times that I've had friends. I still have my friends from when I was in grammar school and stuff like that. And sometimes as you get older, they do think that they can play around and mess around with you like they used to when you were in grammar school and they can test you. But I think sometimes you got to put them in a place and set a boundary that you might not have set as when you were younger and you let things slide. So when I'm getting older, I've been in that situation where I had to shut it down. I'm not a kid like you, like I let stuff slide then. But I'm an adult now. I'm wiser now, and we gotta shut this shit down now. Okay, exactly. So we don't have to outgrow each other.
And I think with Mia, she's full of herself now because it seems like sometimes you're friends with your childhood friend, and then one of you elevate, and the other one doesn't. So the one that elevates all of a sudden think I'm better than that one. I could talk to that one, And the other one who hasn't elevated feels like, oh, they feel like it's okay to be talked to that way. Obviously, this one feels like Mia could talk to any type of crazy way. So in a situation like that, that friendship normally doesn't work out. There's, jealousy that comes into play, envy, everything else. So some friends, especially when it comes to women, they need to both be elevated. And Mia could be looking at down her like, whatever, girl, you didn't do nothing with your life. Look at me. I'm married rich. I'm doing well. And you didn't do nothing. You're a bum bitch. This is why you have to brush, toothpaste, deodorant, tampons, and everything else. So Mia looking at her like, you ain't nothing. You don't own anything. You're not a boss. You're not a CEO. I think Mia looks down on her. And she's just maybe a little bit riding Mia's coattail now and hopefully getting a spot on the show.
So I think she should have kept that to herself, though. She shouldn't have told the other women that, because I do think that's probably going to ignite. But I guess it's good for TV and good to substantiate the friend's existence, because she should have never told the other women that, because they are definitely going to report back to Mia and let her know, I'm sure.
Yep. And then Mia's going to try to get off the show.
Yeah. And rightly so, but that's when it's time to get real messy and turn up. If I was the friend, I hope the friend knows how to play this and not just being messy and then she disappears. She needs to bring it like now. Like now that she said that, she needs to keep bringing that energy. Yeah, so.
Well, now Mia comes back to the table and goes for Wendy's head.
Yes, and then she says, Peter got beef with you, and comes straight out, like just blurts that out. And it was like, it caught Wendy so off guard. Did you see her face?
You're like, what? Like people like, what? What are you talking about? Like, who are you talking to? Who are you talking about? Like nobody knew. She was like, you. Because nobody really knew what the hell she was talking about. And I was like, okay. I mean, I knew what was going to happen based on all the previews. But if I didn't know the preview, I didn't think it was going to escalate to that.
Yeah, so, I didn't think so either.
Mia went on about, you should have contacted Peter, and you didn't contact them about the business deal.
First, Wendy's first response was, I don't have beef with a man. I just feel like why do women feel like everything got to be they man? Like that's the first thing she said. Like I don't have beef with men. He can beef with my husband. I don't got beef with a man.
I mean, when she said that, I was like, but it's coming from Peter. So when she said that, I didn't take it in that sense. But if a man, because the thing is, Wendy didn't clarify. I mean, what's her name? Mia didn't clarify what the beef was. Oh, Peter got beef with you.
Yeah.
So right away, you don't know, like, what do you mean he had beef with me? Because Wendy thinks she sent a text. She sent a text.
That's true with the text.
At that point, what it was. So it's like, a man is saying he got beef with me. No, if you're a man, you got beef with my husband. So I understood why she said that, because she's not thinking it's about that. Like, she doesn't know what the hell Peter's talking about or what Wendy's talking about. So
that's true. I didn't look at it. I could look at it in that way too. Like I look,
man, if he got beef with me, let him deal with my husband. Like,
because she probably didn't know what she probably didn't know what he was talking about, like you said, because the way to last. To me, I think from that, before they showed the text, we didn't know that Peter actually left the text and said, "I'll get back to you," and then he never got back. So all this time, I'm thinking
text Peter last. And Peter never takes back.
That's what I'm saying. Like it was left off where Peter was supposed to respond back. And he never. So he kind of like left it off like, it was on him to get back. So, and he never did. So before we saw the text, I'm believing Peter all this time, thinking because remember, Wendy was already on the fence about even going into business. Her husband already shut it down. So to me, it was like she was avoiding going into business with Peter.
But when Peter first walked in, he's like, I never heard from you. And she was like, read my text. You remember when Peter initially first came out to
yes.
And he said something, I haven't heard from you. She was like, read my text. She said it, but I think no one really paid attention to when she said it. If you play it back, that's what she said. She said that to him. So she said, Smile said, I agree. Speak with my husband if a man has beef with me. Correct. So when Mia comes to Wendy and says, Peter has beef with you, she's not thinking it's that. Like, what the freak is going on? So she's like, well, if he got beef with me, he needs to deal with my husband. Because at that time, she don't know what the beef is. She didn't know what.
That's what I'm saying. But But if we're thinking about it, before we see the text, when the editors go back to the text and they throw in the text, we don't know. We all this time we kind of thinking that Wendy didn't get back to Peter because her husband shut it down and she don't have enough money. So this is what to me as an audience, I'm thinking like, Wendy should know why they got beef. Is she playing stupid because she don't got the money? Like how me is thinking. She's thinking like we're all thinking this. So at this point, I'm thinking like, why is she bringing in her husband? Because you didn't bring your husband to the table with Peter. So why are you bringing up the husband now? Like he wasn't at the table.
But the word beef, I think, made her think like, oh wait, what's going on here?
Yeah, I think it was the text because it was like she didn't not get back to him. She did get back to him. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I guess like what you and Smiles are saying, like, I guess that's true because it's like, now that we see the text, then I can see what y'all saying. But before the text was revealed, it was like, okay, she know why they got beef because you don't got the money and you didn't get back to him and your husband don't got nothing to do with it because you didn't come to the table with your husband. So you should know why we got beef. But then, like you said, and Smile said, she don't know about the beef because she did get back to him.
Correct. Because I was like, oh, that's shiesty. Because I, too, was like, yo, Wendy's foul because how you not respond to the man, but then you at his restaurant, but Wendy didn't know they were going to bar one.
Mm-hmm.
Because Ashley didn't even know. Because when they were going in, she oh, I know we're coming to bar one. So Ashley didn't know. Wendy didn't know. But what set it off is when Mia says to Wendy, oh, well, you coming in his restaurant and you didn't even hit him up, tell him you coming to Miami. Now, Wendy's dead wrong. And I like Wendy's response, like, what? He's not my man. The only person I need to be calling that I'm in town is my husband. She's right. Why would you call a man? First of all, you don't even want to do business with him. And even if you were, she didn't know she was going to bar one. That's one. Why would she call and be like, I'm going to be in Miami? For what? There was no
if they're going into business, if the person I'm doing business with, if I'm going into business with somebody, and listen, I get like the text part, like we know now Wendy did get back to him, but I just think if we going into business together and my prospective business partner is in that city, he's not in Potomac. Peter's not in Potomac. She went to his place of business, wherever she met him at originally before. So now we left off at us, I sent you the contracts, whatever. You want to get a site visit, and then you're coming to my establishment, and you're not gonna like say like, hey Peter, I'm in town, like let's do a site visit or something. To me, I would think like if I'm going into business with somebody, I would let them know like I'm gonna set a day or something aside. I'm in your city.
Yeah, but remember, Wendy's not really trying to go into business with Peter.
I know, but Peter don't know this, and neither does Mia. But Mia should have minded her business. It is none of her business. That's correct.
None of her business.
And but I do. But I'm responding to you saying that she doesn't have to tell Peter. I do. No, I don't think she's not obligated.
She try to go in business with him. You saying she planned on going to business with him?
But what I'm saying, I'm not saying she.
I mean, I'm thinking about Wendy's perspective. She's the thing. This is the whole confusion. Wendy knows she can't afford to go business with Peter and string the man along. Me and them still hasn't figured fully out that that Wendy doesn't want to go into business with Peter. So Mia's coming from the perspective like, oh, if you want to do business with him, why you didn't try to tell him you in town? You come into this town and you're not even trying to hit him up and send him a text. Wendy in her head thinking, I'm not going to do business with this man. Why would I even call and text and try to get in touch with this guy? If Wendy really wanted to go into business with Peter, I think she probably would have texted him or said something or told us, but I'm going to Miami. You think I should Peter up and try to meet him and go over the contract or whatever? She knows she doesn't want to do any business with Peter. So that's not even her head to hit him over the text. If anything, she wanted to avoid him.
I know, but I'm responding to you saying that she's right. She don't have to contact Peter and let him know she's in town. I'm saying that if you really are, I'm saying that it does look a little weird to me. Like, even though he's not your husband, he's not your man, everything is not revolved around. That's what annoys me with a lot of women. Like
No, I
everything
agree
got to
about that.
revolve around your man. It amounts to, okay, you can't do this because you ain't my man. You can't do that because you're not my husband. Like, listen, we're going into business. This has nothing to do with anything romantic. Your
Right.
husband, like your husband's at the table. What I'm saying is that from like if she really was trying to go into business with him, I believe she should have let him know I'm in town. Like that has nothing
Correct.
to do with her husband. But like you
I
said,
agree. Because
from her,
she doesn't want to go into business with Peter. That's the thing. She's doing it in a sneaky way. And again, the text was left on Peter's side. So if Wendy really wanted to do business, she could have even called Peter, like, yo, Peter, I sent you a text. You didn't respond back. I'm about to be in Miami. She's not doing that because she really doesn't want to do business with Peter. Once she sent that text to Peter, Peter didn't respond back. She probably like, good. I'm happy he didn't respond back. I don't have to tell him I don't want to do the deal. She didn't contact Peter after he didn't respond to a text. You know how many times people send me a text and I kind of read it and I get in the middle of something and I forget to respond.
mm-hmm.
This happened to me. They're like, I sent you a text. I'm like, no, you didn't. Yes, you did. Text message just happened to me just yesterday. So I could see how Peter didn't see Wendy's text. But Wendy, as a person who wants to make the money, Peter already got his businesses. You the one that want to join in. You
That's
should
what I'm saying.
Call with Peter after 2 to 3 days. Like, yo, Peter, I sent you a text. What's going on? You don't want to visit it? She's not doing that because she doesn't have the funds and she doesn't want to tell Peter. So her logic, the way she's moving is because she knows she doesn't want to do business. Wendy seems like a very upfront woman. If she really wants to do business with Peter, you best believe she would have called Peter. She would have fly him out. Her husband probably would have flown out into Miami so they could meet him during the business trip.
Exactly.
Smile said maybe it was for a storyline that there isn't any real business between the two. Hell, maybe not. Maybe that was a way to get Peter into a couple of scenes.
No, absolutely not. I think that because Peter was on, I'm referring back to Michelle's podcast, and Peter was on there. So they interviewed him, and he doesn't know what they're showing on the show before it comes on. Like he watched like the rest of us, and he was like elated, like happy that he was shown like that much and that it revolved around him because he didn't even know that the fight involved him. Like, so he was like happy because they was in his place of business. They at bar one, they show him bar one, they fighting in bar one, like everything is bar one. So he's like happy about it. So I don't think it was like a made up storyline for Peter's sake because Peter didn't even know. And he was very happy.
Which one? The fight? He didn't know about no, I don't think he knew the fight.
He didn't know that it was about him and that it was about like, why are we talking about Peter? Like, are you fucking Peter? Peter, is your Peter your man? Like Peter. Yes. He didn't know that it was that much of him. Because what he said was that he literally taped like 5 minutes of the scene. He was in it. He knew that they was in it. The cameras was in his face and he was done with that scene. So he said he went to another part of the restaurant and then he heard from one of his staff members that they were fighting, but he didn't know it had anything to do with like him and that Mia approached. Yeah. He didn't know that Mia approached Wendy about him. So he didn't know that they got like 2-3 episodes about his business and it stemmed from like the beef that he supposedly had with Wendy. So to me, it was great business. I'm here for Peter, and I'm like,
great business because people are gonna go to bar one because of a fight broke out in there.
I don't think I
able to promote that restaurant in a light where people would be like, oh, they had a fight in there. I want to go. Like that's what I'm saying. The restaurant for me, that should have been the moment for me to be like, oh, I want to go there. I didn't get to experience anything of the restaurant because it was a fight. They took away of the experience of bar one because of the fight. That's how I feel. As some of
I don't think so. I think
so? Comment below, ladies. What do you think?
I don't think now. I just think like if there was a shootout in the restaurant, yeah, I'm not going to the restaurant. But it all like kind of stemmed around bar one. Like you see when they're in the hotel and it's like, oh, we going to bar one. Ooh, Giselle says, does Wendy know we going to bar one? Oh no, she doesn't know. Yeah, we going to bar one. They go to bar one. They go in, you see in bar one, they sit at the table, you see like skylines. I saw like I like outdoorsy restaurant. Peter walks in.
Nice.
Yeah, Peter walks in with his swag. Peter's in there looking swaggy. So it's to me, all of that gives off like bar one. They at the table. They talking about the food. The food comes out.
That's the part where I was like, oh, they said the food was good. I'm like, that's the only thing that as a viewer, I'm like, oh, I want to go check out the restaurant because I like the food.
You see, you got sucked in. You got sucked in.
The food. When they're like, oh, the food is really good. I'm like, oh, did they pay them to promote? So yeah, the food.
That's what I'm saying. They know what they're doing when they put these little things into like these shows and commercials to promote. He's getting free promotion that he would pay like millions of dollars for. And he got like 3-4 episodes around bar one. So to me, it like, he's happy about it. I would be too, being a person in business, if I can get that free promotion. And I know we never knew about a Peter. And now he's coming back on the scene, and he got a restaurant in, of all places, Miami, where that's like a tourist spot. He's doing good. But yeah, so
I think it was in North Carolina, South Carolina or North Carolina, one of them. I don't know if I knew about the one in Miami.
That was in Miami. So it's just like that. Yeah, so that place, and then it looks like it's right on the strip of like Ocean or something like that. Like it's on one of Collins, but like it's on one of those main strips, because the stuff that they were showing next to it, it was like on a main strip, like right in South Beach, which is prime.
It's right on the strip of South Beach. But I mean, yeah, now that he's saying that, the food alone was like, oh, the food is good. And you heard what each of them was ordering. So Khan's like, oh, okay. So you're okay. So then, yeah.
I know if I go to Miami, I'm stopping in bar one.
Oh, I don't know if I'm going to do that now. But again, people who's dedicated in love Potomac, they're like, I want the table with Wendy and Mia had a fight.
No, I'm not doing all of that.
No, there's some diehard fans. Like, where was the table? Where? Oh, this is where they had the fight, girl. This is where they were sitting. Like, I remember that spot. So yeah.
I'm doing it for business. I would do it for business, for our business, Queens Talking Reality. I'm going to get Peter on this show. Trust and believe. If it's not me when I'm in Miami, popping in his restaurant, I'm going to see what I could do. So that's why I would do it too. He's promoting his business on Bravo. I'm going to promote our business too.
Hey, Patricia.
Yes. So and one thing Peter don't mind, he don't even mind being called Patricia. He's like, whatever, I'm promoting my business, call me what you want. I'm getting these millions over here, so y'all can call me whatever y'all want. So I like his attitude.
Smurf. Remember Papa Smurf?
Yes. And his beard is even getting more white. Yeah. But yeah, so it said they at the table and it is going down. So Wendy showed the text that shows that Peter did not respond to her last text asking, let me know when I can do a site visit.
See, at that point, that's when Mia should have shut up. At that point, when Wendy showed her the evidence, Exhibit A, Mia should have shut her mouth and be like, all right, you got that. I'm sorry. I thought you did that to my friend. Like, you could have played it that way, took it that route. Because Wendy had the proof, but Mia kept going.
But I think she kept going because it was like, I think it was for TV too. Like, I think this was Mia's way of being like a Giselle and trying to get a moment for her to kind of substantiate her existence and keep the checks rolling in, and hopefully she don't get fired.
The story didn't work out for her.
That what?
The cancer story did not work out for her. So
exactly. She got to move on to other things and put her nose into where it don't belong. So at this point, she's basically, I think Mia starts getting like pissed off because now Wendy is turned up. And like I said, turned up Wendy, like, I just feel like that's why I hate people who can't express themselves or can't articulate themselves in a way that like they can't level up to the person that they're arguing with. Because I'm a person that's going to level up. Or I could level down if you stoop down. Like, I'm going to level down or I can level up. Like, I hate people who resort to violence because to me, that's like a tantrum that a kid would do. Because it's like, oh my God, I can't take these words and I got to scream or I got to throw something. Like, I hate that. And Wendy started turning up. She started making some valid points. And she's like, what? I don't like because Mia starts referring to Peter as a boss and he needs to be like dealt with as a boss. And then Wendy's like, what? A boss? I'm a boss at Johns Hopkins University. And I'm a boss.
The youngest Black person Professor. Now let's talk, because I saw that in social media. Is that considered a boss?
That what is she? She's a professor, but what type of professor is she?
I don't even know, but she's a professor of, so I don't know, media. I don't have no idea, but she is a professor.
She's done something on, like, she's a correspondent
like
and
CNN.
but then she's also something else. Like, she's a professor at Johns Hopkins University, but I don't know how those, like,
she's
professors.
the youngest African American female in Johns Hopkins. I don't consider that boss status. That is a job. You have someone who you're reporting to. You're getting a paycheck for that. That is not a boss status. That is a prestigious position. You get fired.
But I don't know, when she say I'm a boss, she could be like, I'm wondering if she's like the head of the staff. Like, maybe she's like a professor, but like some kind of head professor where she has a staff assigned to her. So that's the way I interpreted it. But to me, even if you are a professor, you like the head professor and you have a staff assigned to you or under you, to me, it's like, what does that have to do with the restaurant business? Peter is a boss in his respected field, and you could be a boss in your respected field. But if you come into my industry and you trying to mentor you, or you trying to partner with me, I am a boss. You coming to me as a boss.
You coming to Peter. He didn't come to you. He don't need to come to you.
Exactly. And respect me as a boss. And I'm a boss in this industry. So when she did bring up that she's a boss in Johns Hopkins University, that has nothing to do with Peter in the restaurant business. Like, you're a boss in that field, but you coming into my field now.
Well,
I didn't think they had a point.
Trying to say Peter's a boss, I'm a boss too. Because I think Mia was trying to say, oh, Peter's a boss. Like, you're not. I think that's what Mia was trying to imply. She's like, wait, hold up, bitch. I'm a boss too. Which, you know what, all these reality shows, like, oh, I'm a boss. Okay, like, to me, it's like, why is everyone throwing that word around? You could be a boss and you're making chump change money. So it's always a whole big, I'm a boss. Okay, how is that validating who you are? So I think her saying Peter's a boss, he should be respected. I get it in that aspect, because, again, you are seeking his help. He's trying to make you
money. And that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So Wendy at that time, again, which she does a lot of times during arguments, throw her education. Remember when she met Ashley, she made sure to tell her, I'm this, it's Dr. Wendy. She makes sure whenever there's a confrontation, she throws her education, her intelligence in there. So I think that was a moment, like, he's a boss, but I'm the youngest Black female Johns Hopkins. I know that at that moment. Again, throwing her education into the mix, which is fine. I mean, that's what she's most proud of, which is fine.
And I just don't think that had any relevance into, like, I guess she want to big herself up, like, but I just don't think that was relevant in that, like, it was none of my and Mia's business, but it was not, like, what Wendy's comeback wasn't relevant. And that's why I wish that Mia, if you're going to stand on that and you want to ignite this fire, she should have completed it with her words too. Like, I just hate that it had to end like that. But Mia could, like, she could have just did it in a more, like, respectful way and stood her ground. And she just dropped the ball here.
Mia had to throw the water in Wendy's face. And the reason why, no, I wouldn't have done that. She's wrong. I'm on Wendy's side. The reason why I'm saying she had, because Mia doesn't have words. The girl comes off as an airhead to me. I don't give a damn how many companies she owns. She's insecure. It's obvious. So Wendy's coming at her. She didn't really have much to say about Wendy. Wendy's a good-looking African-American dark-skinned woman. She got a husband. She got her kids. She got her intelligence. She's doing like, she didn't have anything to throw at Wendy. What was she gonna say about Wendy? The only thing is she kept saying Peter was a boss. She couldn't go for Wendy's physical appearance, couldn't say anything. The only thing she could have said, oh, you don't have the money to go into business. She couldn't come at Wendy because Wendy was coming at her. What was she going to say to Wendy to break her down? Oh, you had a bunch of plastic surgery.
But Wendy wasn't breaking. I just think that Wendy wasn't breaking her down, but Wendy wasn't. But Wendy, if what I'm saying is that Maya started the conversation off of Peter, and she's trying to have Peter's back. So to me, I just feel like she should have completed that. And even though it was none of her business, she started this. So it's like now Wendy's basically saying, my husband is my husband at, I'm a professor. I'm a professor at Johns Hopkins University. She could say what I'm saying. And what I'm saying is that has nothing to do with you coming to Peter and begging for his help. Like, you need his help. He doesn't need your help. Like, I just feel like she could have made Wendy feel like, I don't give a damn about your Johns Hopkins University status. You're still a worker. You're still working. I would have made it worse. And I would have been like, you're still working for the white man, bitch. Like, I would have said something like that. And I just feel like.
But look at the intelligence level. Wendy needs to argue for Kenya.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I just wish. I know. I just wish.
Housewives of Atlanta. Look at the intelligence level here.
It's just wishful thinking on my part. I just wish that Maya had a good way of substantiating her existence with this fight about Peter, but she went left when she threw the drink. Now it seems like you acted as a child and you couldn't hold it together and level up. You leveled down, and it was terrible. I just wish that Mia didn't do that, because Wendy does. I do feel like she has that antagonistic ways about her. But to me, it's like sometimes you gotta level up to that to let them know what time it is and who you dealing with. You think you're gonna turn up on me? I'm gonna turn up too.
So Giselle last season handled it well. When Wendy went for Giselle, Giselle stayed quiet. Do you remember when Wendy went for Giselle?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. These women keep disappointing me.
They don't have the intelligence to do it. You gotta understand, you have to be intelligent in order to verbalize how you feel about someone and bring them down. It's intelligence. You gotta be smart with your words. Giselle didn't have it. Mia couldn't keep up and just threw the drink in Wendy's face.
That's what I'm saying.
Robyn is going back and forth with her. So no one is on that level where they could really combat Wendy verbally and tear her down. So she is a speaker. She's intelligent. She uses her words. She has a large vocabulary. So she's able to verbalize how she feels without getting by. Mia, on the other hand, she has a low vocabulary, doesn't know what to say, feel like she's getting embarrassed, and wanted to shut Wendy up by throwing the water in her face.
I know. It's like you know what it is. It's like I desire, it's like you watching like a Super Bowl or like a good scene,
you want a good,
and then it's just like
battle.
Yeah, and then somebody fumbles the ball. Like, come on. I wanted to see this has such potential to be such a great battle and a great scene.
Not with her. I'm sorry. Maybe her. You know who had a decent battle? It was Karen. Karen and her. It was decent.
Yeah.
I think the only one maybe now would be Karen. So Mia throws the water in Wendy's face. And I have to say, I'm very surprised. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Wendy, but I'm now a bigger fan. I wasn't a fan. Now I like her a little bit more because she was able to take that water like she knew it was coming.
And then she was just, but did you see how she reacted to it? She twisted up her face and she was like, like what? This is what we're
doing? Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, so to me, it was like she took it, and these editors for Potomac, when she took that drink and then they rewound it back and
and when they did the Matrix of Karen, that was hilarious. I mean, it was sad. I was laughing, but it was bad. Like, you just sort of drink. I mean, it was water in her face. But I just couldn't believe how Wendy didn't even flinch. Like, I would not be able to compose myself and remember, don't get violent, or I'm going to mess with Johns Hopkins. I would have flew over Karen and attacked her like a wild animal.
Me too.
I would have lost my job at whatever she works at, Johns Hopkins. Karen would have been injured during myself throwing myself over. The table would have been flung. They would have to call the cops. Mia was probably going to sue me for assault. It would have been a mess. There was no way of them controlling me at that point.
But that just goes to show you how much emotional intelligence that not only intellectually that Wendy is, like the emotionally intelligence that she has, like, and attack that she has to be able to stand there and kind of like, suppress her real, like, nasty emotions, and to be able to sit there, take that drink, not react, and be able to compose yourself that way. That's another level of emotional intelligence that, I know I don't have. And you said you don't have. So it's like to be able to sit there and not react and instantly know to just take it and then go back with your words and keep talking and throwing the words out and not like.
I also think it's from where Wendy comes from. Wendy is African. She's has to have dealt with a lot of discrimination, racism, especially working Johns Hopkins. She's dealt with a lot of probably racism, most likely verbal abuse. Who knows what other type of abuse? So for her to control herself to that extent on TV was I respect her. I have a whole different level of respect for Wendy. The woman didn't even flinch. Like you didn't even see her. Like you didn't. That's when like, did she know the water was coming? Did they say, "Oh, Maya's gonna throw one in your face. Be ready." Like she just sat there and like, and I'm like, what? Mind you, makeup and hair and outfit still look good. I was like, what the hell is going on here? Not only that, then it escalates. Mia wants to fight and everything else. The part that really threw me over the edge is when Mia threw something at Wendy. I don't know if it was a purse or something.
They said it was a purse, and she got hit with a purse.
She didn't do anything, but there was a time after she started bucking up her chest, now Wendy, when she eventually got up. And that's when they were restraining her. I think after a while, she kind of lost it. Like, okay, there's just enough I'm going to take. Because there was a time she was ready to fight Mia.
Yeah.
So security had came and stopped her. And then she called Mia crater face. Now, when she said that, I was like, oh, because I was wondering too. And I don't like to comment about women because we're all beautiful women. But but I always noticed that Mia's face looked like a crate. Like she had a crater face. And I was like, what the hell's wrong with that woman's skin? Like some lighting, it didn't look bad, but when she does a confessional, the side of her face looks very cratish. I don't know if that's probably,
I think it's the lighting that makes it look better while you don't see it sometimes, but I'm sure it's always there.
But you can tell she has very bad skin. So when Wendy said, I was like, ooh, because Mia has a low self-esteem.
Yeah.
She has a low self-esteem. So when Wendy said that, I think that's when it really hit. That's when it really hit. Like, oh, now she's going for my physical looks. Because Mia, with all of them surgery and her vagina rejuvenation surgery and everything else, you could tell she has a very low self-esteem. So Wendy threw that at her. I know that hurt. That because that's something she has to be insecure about. It has to. You around these beautiful women and your skin is looking a mess. You are insecure. Just like Kenya used to be insecure about her skin.
Yeah.
And Marlo and Atlanta Housewives always used to throw that in Kenya's face. So for someone to say it, no one's ever said it on the show, but everyone sees it. And for Wendy to come out and say it, I said, kudos to Wendy. She went low below the belt, and she knew that was going to hurt Mia even more. And that's
what I'm saying. That's how I wish Mia could have reacted and said whatever she had to say. But it just looked so bad for Mia when she just threw the drink and she couldn't compose herself to level to Wendy's level as far as like with the words. She didn't have it. Like you said, she don't got that intelligence.
Yeah, once she threw the drink, it was over for her. Even when she was acting up and they were trying to stop her, there goes Wendy saying, oh, look at the CEO, look at the boss, look how she's acting. So they made me look bad. And here goes Robyn recording. I can't stand Robyn.
Yes, what you think about her recording and then saying, just stop, you're being antagonistic.
I cannot stand Robyn. I never liked her and I still don't like her. And she reminds me of those girls in high school that they were pretty. They thought they were all that. They only hung out with the so-called pretty girls and somewhat of a bully, kind of. She was annoying. I think she made the situation worse by videotaping and making it seem like this was some entertainment. Instead of maybe trying to calm Mia down or whatever, she would just record like, yeah, this is TMZ.
And why is she recording when you got these big top of the line cameramen there, like with the cameras that are
She said shade room. I guess she was gonna post. I don't know what the hell she was gonna do.
To me, she was saying TMZ, and it was the editor to say RMZ, Like, so it was like, okay, this is corny. Like, they got cameras there already. Like, why are you recording? This is not, around the corner at some regular, like, John,
I just wanted to
deli.
be stupid and petty and telling Wendy she's antagonizing her. Then when Mia's friend comes and stops her, it was just a whole bunch of dish. She calls her husband, talk about she's leaving to go to Miami. So,
But I do like the friend of Mia, even though she was, kind of like backstabbing her with the whole, I don't think we would be friends if we didn't meet as kids or whatever. But I do believe, like, I like how she stepped into that friend role, the BFF role, and calmed her down. Like, listen, you're better than this. Like, why are you doing this? Like, relax. Let's go. And she took her away. So I do appreciate she wasn't being a shisty friend that she could have been. She still stepped up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Or egging me on. So now Mia saying she's gonna go back. She's canceled. She's going back to wherever. I don't know why. She could have just told Wendy to leave. I don't know why she's going. I was told Wendy, you got to get out the house and go back to wherever.
I think that was a part of like the theatrics of it. Like, I feel like she was deflecting and she wanted to gather like some sympathy for herself. Like, I'm leaving and look at my nail. Oh my God, I'm bleeding. Like, wasn't like, it's not like Wendy attacked you and that's why you're bleeding. You're bleeding due to your own stupidity. Like, she's showing the blood, huh?
From her trying to fight because Wendy didn't touch her.
That's what I'm saying. So to me, I feel like she was adding to the theatrics and she tried to make it seem like she wanted to gather the troops together to have some sympathy toward her because she knew she effed up at that point. So it's like, oh my God, look at me, I'm bleeding. Oh my goodness, like, oh my goodness. And then she calls her husband. She's talking about my family. Now that came after when Wendy started going at her and them having threesomes and foursomes and stuff like that. Wendy said that after she threw the drink. I just don't think that, and it's such a shame that Mia threw the drink at that point. Of all points of their interaction, you threw the drink at like something so minuscule. Like, it wasn't even about her family when she threw the drink at Wendy. Wendy said nothing about her family at that point.
Exactly.
She said it after.
Another thing, what did Wendy say about her husband? Oh, she was talking about her husband. You do have threesomes.
Like, but she said that after, like, the damage was already done. And she said that after the drink was thrown. There was nothing she really said before the drink was thrown. It was nothing that she said.
She keeps saying that Wendy talked about her family. When? Like, what did Wendy say but that you have threesomes? You said you have threesomes. That's not talking about.
Well, no, she was like, you effing Peter. No, she was like, she was saying some things. Yeah, she's like, you effing Peter. Like, you have threesomes and foursomes. Like, make it seem like that Peter was a part of that. And that, I mean, she did say, even if they are having threesomes, if I'm having threesomes, I'm a swinger. You're not going to use it as a weapon against me and judge me about it. Like, even if I am having swinging and doing all kind of stuff, don't throw it in when we arguing, because then I'm but I just think, like we said, Mia just doesn't have the intelligence to go to battle with Wendy.
Mia needs to shut the hell up and battle with, I don't know who, maybe, I don't think she can even have a battle with Ashley. She has a better battle with her best friend there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she has the intelligence to battle with any of them.
And then,
So now they, Ashley, and I think it was Ashley. Giselle, I know, went out there to talk to her. Oh, no, you're leaving. I don't remember who else. By the way, Robyn had an ugly outfit on. She looks terrible in that outfit.
Who?
Robyn, I hated that dress she had on.
I never see anything like, I don't know. They just always look regular to me. I mean, they're beautiful, but their clothes always looks like.
Wendy and Karen are the best dressed on that.
Yeah.
So now on social media, everyone is talking about colorism. Oh, it's because Wendy's dark skin. All this. What is your take on this whole colorism thing?
Yeah, I am changing my mind about the colorism. When I was saying it last week, I did feel like that could be some kind of colorism going on, and maybe because Wendy is dark skinned and that they're like, and these light skinned women are going against her because she's dark skinned. But Giselle and Robyn, even though they're light skinned, they go at a few. Giselle does not discriminate over dark skin. I don't think
it's colorism.
Yeah, I don't think so too. They go at Karen. Karen's light skin. They go at like others too, like Ashley. They get into it with Ashley and Giselle. Robyn and Ashley get into it. Like, I don't think in this instance it has anything to do with colorism. And I can see if, like, to me it would be like, is Bravo like if we take the Basketball Wives, for instance,
That's different.
that's a different situation because I felt like the network, the executors, they made a decision to, even when they had the reunion, to sit the dark-skinned one out because she might fight the light-skinned women. And they actually set her out of the panel on the stage when she was a part of the Basketball Wives.
That's different. That did show.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So to me, if we think about Potomac, Housewives of Potomac, it's not like Bravo is playing favoritisms and they're like, kicking out and making Wendy, they firing Wendy and Wendy didn't do nothing, even though Maya threw the drink. And Bravo is firing Wendy because she's dark skinned. And so who are we talking about when it comes to colorism? Are we talking about Bravo, who they're the ones who's the big, executives in this, and they got the power in this? And to me, I always think about it as power and them exerting their power, and then they're using it to discriminate, but they're not. And even with the women amongst each other, they're not discriminating because they're fighting with each other all the time, light skin and dark skin. It doesn't even matter. So I am changing my mind about that. I don't think it has anything to do with colorism.
No, I
they just don't like Wendy. They just don't like her.
When Monique went at Candace is darker than Monique. They were sided with Candace. They just didn't like Monique. I think at this point, they just, whoever they don't like, that's who they would side with.
Exactly.
Mia had thrown the drink on Ashley. They would have been on Ashley's side and said, oh my God, why would Mia do this? They don't like Wendy. They have reasons not to like Wendy. So they didn't like her just not to like her, because in the beginning, Robyn and Wendy were getting along. She was bonded with Wendy first because they had kids. They showed them at the park. They were hanging out. They got along until Wendy went at Robyn and said, oh, you don't really have a relationship. When she was going at Giselle, she ended up going at Robyn too. So I don't think it has anything with Wendy being dark skinned. I think it's just, we don't like Wendy. We like Mia a little bit more. We'll side with Mia.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. She just happens to be dark skinned, but I don't think that's a factor. And no one in Bravo. I mean, I want to see what ends up happening. Is Mia going to get fired? But I can see if they did something. Yeah, if Bravo intercepted and they, did something to Wendy as far as firing Wendy or doing something against Wendy to make her suffer, then I would say, yeah, this has something to do with colorism. But no, Bravo's not fired. They're not going to do nothing to Wendy. She's going to be back on the show. Nothing is happening. The women are just fighting. It's business as usual. No, this is not colorism here.
I don't think they're going to let go of Mia either, because Monique, who physically attacked Candace, she quit the show.
On her own.
Yeah, said that they wanted to renew her contract because they wanted again to continuously fuel that, the conflict between her and Candace, and she quit. So
and she recently said that they even asked her to be on the ultimate trip, the Ultimate Women's Housewives trip. So she even turned them down for that.
With Candace on there. Correct. Yeah. So I don't see Mia getting fired either. I'd be very surprised considering she didn't even physically attack Wendy. So I don't see them.
No, but it is physically attacking. If you're throwing a drink on me, if I were Wendy and she wanted to really get her off the show or something, I don't know, I would demand, because that is physically attacking me. If you throw a drink, you throw some liquid in my face, that's physically attacking me. Like, no, I would have did something. I mean,
it was water. It wasn't like
still, I would have pressed some charges on that. That's still. So is it okay if you spit in my face? It's spit.
Oh no, no. Yeah, okay. So I take that.
It's back. Not harmful.
It is a physical attack. You're right. So, but I don't think she's gonna kick Wendy off. They're not gonna kick me off the show because they want to continue this drama. It all depends on whether or whatnot Wendy want to prolong it.
That's what I'm saying. If I was Wendy, I would press charges. I would make Mia feel miserable. Like how.
I don't know how the charges are gonna stick. She threw water. It wasn't anything damaging. Nothing bad happened to Wendy. Okay, she's gonna buy you a new wig, pay for your dry cleaning. It wasn't aqua where she could be like, oh my gosh, she burned my eyes. I had problems seeing. There's no huge ramifications from the water being thrown at her. So I don't think she really has a case. It was just water.
That's true, but I still would have the police. I would just for the dramatics of it, like what Kenya did with Portia and Atlanta Housewives.
That was different. She was physically assaulted and thrown and dragged on the floor.
But she didn't have no injuries, though. There was no injuries from that.
She could have pretended. She didn't want
That's what I'm saying. So could
I could have
Wendy.
said I had a minor concussion from my hair being pulled out of my head. I would have went home and cut some hair. Like, look, she pulled my
And Wendy should have did the same thing. If I'm wearing contacts, and water do bother me if I'm wearing, when I have my contacts in, somebody throw some water, that could lacerate my cornea.
She could have done that, but I don't know if Wendy's going to go to that extreme.
I would have went to the extreme. Ooh, the dramatics would have been on and popping on that show. I'm telling you. I would have had the cops on deck, and my cornea, I have a laceration. Do you see? Like, I would have doubled down on this. This would have been great TV on top of it.
You could have. So, like the same thing with Monique and Candace. Wasn't there some lawsuit going on where Ashley was involved in it too? Remember Monique and Candace? Candace has pressed charges against Monique, and when Monique pressed charges against Candace.
Oh yeah, and I guess it just kind of like canceled each other out. I don't think they were able to get anywhere with that.
Now that made more sense. If Candace,
but Wendy would have definitely had a case to even just make Mia's life like inconvenience her. Like, even if it didn't go anywhere, I would have inconvenienced her, made her go to court, and make her spend some money.
You got to be spending money too for your attorney. You're wasting money.
I still listen. These tax dollars would have went to use, and I would have had the cops there. These are my tax dollars. I would have called the cops, got a police report. I would have scared her a little bit, even if I don't go anywhere with it. I would have still called the cops, especially if Wendy didn't do nothing. Like, at least continue this in a civilian way. You didn't attack her in a violent way. Do the civilian way and call the cops.
True. So then Wendy then goes off saying, "Oh, she's gonna go back to the house, so she's gonna F her up." So Wendy kind of lost control at the end there.
Yeah.
And she pointed out to the women that, when the same situation happened with Monique, you all were against what Monique did, which was physically attack Candace. Now this
including her, she was against Monique too.
Who's against Monique?
Wendy didn't agree with the violence that
she showed that she's able to control herself and didn't resort to violence. So she basically showed her, whatever she said, she's actually doing. So then when she leaves, she talks about effing somebody up. I guess it was going to be Mia back in the house. So that's not how a professor from Johns Hopkins conduct themselves. So then they put up a message, something to that this behavior has no reflection. I forgot what the message was, but basically
it was like this is not a reflection of Johns Hopkins University. But I think that was a Bravo message, though. I don't think that came from Johns Hopkins.
No, that was a Bravo message because they know she's affiliated with Johns Hopkins. Because I looked at somewhere else. I don't remember what reality show. Oh, well, it was Married to Medicine, where the doctors on that show, they never could tell where they work. Like, you kind of see the hospitals, but they never say what hospital they're affiliated with. So that message was put out there also, but I guess it was okay with Johns Hopkins that Wendy mentions their name and that's where she works.
I don't think it's okay yet. I think we are yet to know if it's okay with them, because this is the first, they seeing it just like as well as we are. But I do think that message was put out there as a preventative measure for Bravo. I don't think they was doing it for Johns Hopkins and their protection. Bravo was protecting themselves and basically I don't want to get sued later on in case they do have a problem. They're not going to just sue Wendy. They're going to sue Bravo too. They're not going to just fire Wendy. Everyone's going to roll, get dirty. Yeah. So I just think that Bravo did it to protect themselves.
Yeah, before Johns Hopkins put a statement out, like, this is not how all our professors conduct themselves at Johns Hopkins. We apologize. They're going to put out some statement.
But Wendy should have protected. Listen, I would have went to the editors and been like, I would have thought about this later if Wendy was smart. Because that's how I know how my job is too. They're very big on, like, if I start acting up and I start mentioning I work at my law firm that I work at, they are not going to want to be affiliated if I start beating somebody up or talking like crazy to somebody and getting violent. And so I do know that a lot of jobs do not want to be affiliated with that violence and that nasty nature. So I don't know if Johns Hopkins would. If she gets fired from this, Like, that's a repercussion that Wendy may suffer. But if I were Wendy, I would have went to Bravo, and it's a shame that Bravo kind of like threw her under the bus and they allowed it to be shown. They could have bleeped that out like they do a lot of other times with people's names. They left that in and then protected themselves.
Well, that was a scene. They couldn't leave that out. Wendy's the one that should know whether or not she.
No, they could have bleeped out John when she said, "Yeah, I'm a professor." They could have just left in that she's a boss because she's a professor. It doesn't. What does it matter?
Wendy's been said she worked at John Hopkins. That's not the first time.
Well, at that point, in that sentence, and she's a boss there, and you're being affiliated with being a boss, and you're being a boss at John Hopkins, I felt like that. We don't need to know she's a boss at John Hopkins. It could have been a boss at CNN or something, because she's an analyst. She's a correspondent, some kind of analyst on a network. I think it's CNN. So it didn't necessarily have to be affiliated with John Hopkins. They could have left that part out.
Yeah, but everybody already knows she's at John Hopkins. That's the thing. Wendy was, when she came into the show, she kept talking about John Hopkins.
Yeah, but they never put it in there. But why would they put the disclaimer in there like we are not?
Because of her behavior.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. In that episode, I just think, like, I know what you're saying, and that, you know, because she had bad behavior, they would have to put it in no matter where. But why didn't they put it in for CNN and wherever else she's an analyst at? Her other jobs. She got like 3 jobs.
Main job that she's affiliated with.
No, it's because she mentioned it.
That she works at John Hopkins. Also, if you Google Wendy couldn't hide where she worked. Because prior to starting there, she was on CNN and everything else, and she's a professor at John Hopkins. That is part of her job description if you Google her. So I don't.
But she's an analyst too. She's an analyst somewhere else. Why didn't they mention that job?
Why? I don't know. They didn't mention that.
I believe they did that because they left that scene in there where she mentioned their name.
John
That's what I'm saying. They should have bleeped that out. They should have edited that part out. If I were Wendy, I would have asked them to edit that part out so they do not know that I put it in that scene where I'm talking and I'm being like, you know, I'm initiating or responding to a fight. And that I'm talking about effing somebody up, beating them down. And when I go to the house, I'm talking about beating somebody up and getting violent. And then I'm mentioning my employer. I would have asked them, but what I'm saying is that it's a shame that Bravo left it in, protected themselves, and left her out to dry.
No, you saying they should have bleeped when she said where she worked?
Yeah, and that scene, like, I know what you're saying. Like, we all knew that she worked there before, but in that moment where she's talking about beating somebody down, I know Bravo was protecting themselves, and that's why they put the disclaimer specifically for John Hopkins. Because she mentioned it within that scene where she started to become violent. And
because not everybody may remember where she works. Some people have probably watched the season. The clips are on YouTube and Instagram with just that scene. So not everybody knows she's affiliated with John Hopkins. However, if you watch that whole scene, you do know she's affiliated with John Hopkins, and she's acting a fool at the end of that scene.
Yeah, and we don't know yet how John Hopkins is going to respond to this. Wendy may get fired. We don't even know yet.
You're right about that. That's why I'm saying these type of shows, if you have a reputable job outside of that show, you need to really think if you want to be part of these type of shows and how you're going to have to fully conduct yourself and try to avoid any type of conflict. But I even thought it was bad representation of Wendy as a professor at John Hopkins last season when she had her boobs out, she was in the outfits that she was wearing. I felt that was inappropriate. As a
I wouldn't mind that. How I'm dressed outside of work. It's not like if I'm coming to work around the students like this. Like, if I'm outside of my job, that's nobody's business.
That's true. I guess that's.
But I wouldn't, as long as I don't put it up and be like, "Hey, I'm a professor at John Hopkins. What you think about this?" Out like,
but then that could be said for the violence. Well, nobody needs. If I'm acting violent outside a job, I'm not doing at the work. Nobody needs to know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there shouldn't be any firing of that. It's the same thing. How I dress and how I act is outside of the job, but you're representing a huge university.
Yeah.
On a huge platform.
Mm-hmm.
You're exposing your boobs, you're doing all this stuff. Like, everybody now when they see you know you did your butt, a whole mommy makeover.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I guess it all depends. Let's see. Maybe physical is not as big as what they feel is violent. I don't know. Hopefully she don't lose her job over this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But what you think about Robyn, like, you standing up, you are the winner. You're the winner. Like, Wendy is like,
grab Robyn from the TV screen and smack the hell out of her. But again, and Wendy was like, yes, I am. She was basically, now you're antagonizing Wendy. I understand what she's saying because she feels like Wendy wants to win every argument. And I do see that on her. With her, Wendy does antagonize, but I don't like Robyn. So anything coming out of her mouth this season, I just don't like.
Yeah, I didn't like it either. Then they was going at Karen because Karen was kind of, straddling the fence and not taking sides. But Karen was just doing Karen, and she didn't just leave me alone. Leave me out of this. I ain't taking sides. I'm trying to mediate this situation.
Exactly. When Karen, oh my God, I got it. I'm like, please, Rob, Karen, you got pushed a little.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then that's how it ended with Wendy storming. I didn't get to see. Why are they not showing what's happening next episode? They don't show that anymore. Like,
they never do.
Why? Then I gotta go look for these next episodes.
And that's what I'm thinking. To me, I be thinking like maybe it's not coming on next week, and then I get off and go on Instagram, and I'm like, okay, here's the preview. Why we don't get to see this? I don't know.
So you saw the preview for the next episode?
Yeah, I think so. I forgot what it was, but the preview is circulating, definitely.
Yeah, that's the only thing I realized, that there's no preview now. So I'm like, well, what the hell's going on in that episode?
Mm-hmm.
But I was in that episode. So I'm looking.
Yeah, they're gonna convince. What's gonna happen is now it's coming back to me. Wendy goes to another hotel because they did. Did they show this thing? Because I might be getting confused. She takes her bags. It probably is the next episode.
Oh, they didn't show it. So that's not messing up for the viewers. We didn't see it, so we're just curious to see what's gonna happen next episode.
Yeah, she's gonna get her bags. She's gonna pack her bags, and I think it's Ashley walks her out to the Uber or whatever, and the other ladies are there talking, and as they're talking, Wendy gets her bag and she leaves, but she doesn't leave to go home. You can tell she's still in the vicinity, and then she stays somewhere else, and then the next day it's Karen's birthday. Karen still wants her to come to the beach party. Are they having some kind of party for Karen? So Karen tells Wendy, I want you to come there. I'm not accepting no for an answer. It's my birthday. I want you to come. Wendy agrees she's going to come. Then Karen goes. What'd you say?
Mia's there.
When you say Mia, well, the next scene is she gets off the phone with Wendy. After telling her Wendy agrees that she's going to go, then Karen goes in to Mia and tells her, listen, Mia, I want Wendy to come. I hope you don't have a problem with it. And Wendy's like, I really don't want her to, but it is your birthday. So it looks like she's going to accept it.
We'll see how that goes.
Next episode, they all seem to going to be together for Karen's birthday. So we got to see what pops off.
That couldn't be me. I tell you, Wendy's a different build. I tell you that much. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens next episode. So thank you for watching Queens Talking Reality. And stay tuned for our next video. Please continue to like, subscribe, and share our video. And we'll see you next time for episode 8.
Toodles.